everybody?
Oh yeah! Favorite day of the week. It's a Wednesday. Hump day. Fun day. Time to learn about a really cool individual. I'm really excited for y'all to meet her. One of my favorite artists of many mediums. Here to blow your mind. Answer some awesome questions. Share some insights. Share some recipes, perhaps. We don't know. You don't know. You have to stay tuned. We might just give you that secret family brownie recipe, and you won't know unless you keep watching. Tonight, live on YouTube. I see you, chat. You're not on screen yet, but I can see you. The hype is real. Yeah, it's going to be good. Here's a little sound effect for you, so you know it's legit. Don't quit. Stay tuned. Let us roll the intro. Yep. All right. Hello, world. You know how rock stars always like, hello, Tampa. Hello, Orlando. That's me, but to the whole world, because that's how the internet works. We don't know who's here. I know my effing pancakes. I love that YouTube handle. Quite a funny thing. They're here. Let's see. I'm allowed to get something tomorrow. I'm not sure what that means, my effing pancakes, but we'll get to the bottom of it tonight about what you're getting tomorrow. And that makes me feel good. Welcome back, y'all. .com Doom. Happy slow show on the net. It's a Wednesday night. I'm feeling all right. And let's love, not fight. There it is. There it is. The wisdom my grandma always gave me. Tonight is another special one for you. A very special guest is in the house. We'll be introducing her in just a moment. But before that, you know the drill. We got to do the rules. Rule number 1 for the whole show. For our fans, for our supporters, for our pancakes that will get blown up with your mind. Rule number 1, do not be a butt. Very straightforward. Please treat each other with respect in the chat. And just don't do butt-like behavior, you know? I think we can all dig that. Rule number 2. Keep it PG-13 with your words and your thoughts and other things. Keep it PG-13. And of course, the most important rule of all the rules.
Oh, you gotta respect others, man. If you don't respect others, how are they gonna respect you back? Am I right? Respecting others is like a good brownie, and we might be giving out the secret recipe formula tonight, if my questions work, on our amazing artist guest.
Woo! Brownies! That's how brownies make me feel when I eat too many too fast. You know how it is. But yes, please follow the rules. It wouldn't be an episode of .com Doom if I also did not implore you. Yes, implore. When was the last time you heard that SAT term? Send us an email. .comdoom@gmail.com. We got it. Only one. I didn't have to fight anyone for that Gmail address. If you send us a picture of your pet, of your brother, of your friendly neighborhood squirrel, anything that floats your boat, really. As long as it's PG-13 and not butt-like. Yeah, we'll show it on the show. I'm about it. I'm actually going to pull up my email now so that I have my finger on the pulse of all the pet cutiness that I anticipate you all will send tonight. Hopefully. Just hopefully. And I'm feeling frisky. I don't always do this, but at some point tonight, if you are a fan of art or a friend of our special guest, Selena, or anything else, if you're just feeling brave, that is a phone number that you can call, and I will pull up the phone number thing so that possibly, just possibly, if you have a question for our special guest, you can ask them in your own words, in your own voice. But if you're not feeling brave, we have a chat for that, and it's always welcome. I'll keep the light on in the chat. You can always go to that chat and share your, I was going to say deepest, darkest thoughts and feelings, but maybe don't do that. Maybe your lightest, happiest sentiments, throw those in the chat. For the deep, dark ones, call me afterwards. We'll talk it out, buddy. It'll be okay. But I am going to pull up the phone line just in case anyone does decide to call tonight. I will probably miss your call. I always do. But in case I don't miss your call, I'll have that handy. So grab your magic marker, write down that phone number if you give a hoot. But other than that, thank you to everyone who watched last week. Emiliano was a hoot to talk with in his gallery, the Department of Contemporary Art Tampa. Yes! We even talked about merch last week and how he loves to design shirts and merch. We got it. And his logo's on the back. You gotta check it out. Hold up. Fashion show. Very swagalicious. So swagalicious, I gotta do the voice. I gotta do it, y'all.
Swag! Swagalicious! Yep! So much swag. Who let the dogs out? I didn't let him out. Did you let him out? I don't know, man.
It's okay, though. I'm gonna go round up those dogs. I'm gonna go round them up. Because I don't want them running in the street. Because that would be very butt-like behavior. Yes, you passed the test. You got the rules down. But I digress about puppies. Last thing before I introduce our esteemed, amazing guest tonight. If you could, friends, if you are hearing the sound of my voice right now, first of all, that's good. Everything is working. If you're not hearing the sound of the voice, let me know in the chat. I'll work on that. But I think you can. Let me know your favorite color in the chat. Every episode, I try to have a little quizzy poo for you. Get to know you a little more. I know you love long walks on the beach, but I do not know your favorite color. So we got to get to the bottom of that, y'all. Let me know in the chat right now your favorite color. Pink is coming in hot. Someone said fire. That's a hilarious answer. I don't know if that's like a Crayola crayon color, like fire orange. Or if that's just your nihilistic answer to what's your favorite color. It's like, oh, fire. And flames. And other synonyms for fire. I don't know. But let me know your favorite color in the chat. We'll peep that in a second. Email me your pet, .comdoom@gmail.com. We'll make them world famous, as we do. But folks, it is my distinct, supreme honor to introduce to you tonight a world premiere on .comdoom, and by that I mean I just haven't had them on the show yet, and that's exciting. One of my favorite Tampa-based artists, they do it all. They do paint, they do mixed media, new media, video, they dabble in music. I'm pretty sure they've done sculpture and other things too before. They've done it all, folks. They're so talented. I'm excited for y'all to get to meet them tonight. Please put your paws together for Selena Ferrer! Woo! Yeah! Doing a little dance on a cloud. Descended from a heavenly vista.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, you look really comfy cash in that cloud over there. Am I right?
I'm in the clouds always.
Up here and in there. You're literally in a cloud. Maybe like mentally in your mind, you're like, I'm a little aloof. I'm in my own place. That's cool. But no, you're literally in a cloud right now. How'd you get up there?
You know, we drink a little bit of coffee in the morning, and it creates it's a straight shoot up from there.
Are you like a rocket ship, just and then by the end of the day you're up there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The energy cannot be contained. The talent, the energy. You're just going to burst out of your little square on my little screen, and that is exciting to me. Selena, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Nice.
It's an honor to be on your show. Thank you for asking me to be on this. Seriously.
Of course. Hey, the honor is all mine. I'm a fan of yours. Chat, if you know this person, if you know Selena, you know they're too legitness. They're totally tubular. Throw your questions in the chat. We will read them together and we will get you some answers so that Selena can answer those questions. I have some questions too, but before we get to that, Selena, I wanted to sort of see how you were feeling. I like to empower my guests to sort of grab the steering wheel. Is there anything on your mind? Anything you'd like to start to talk about? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? Where are you at? What are you thinking?
To be honest, like being in my brain is like going into the vortex all the time. I like naturally walk fast because of it. Like I know that this is like a random like thing, but I feel like when like thoughts come in, I'm like always like trying to catch them before they leave. You know, I take notes, but sometimes if I don't have paper on me, I'm just going. But I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling in like a really good place in my life right now. You know, like spiritually, emotionally, family's good, family's healthy.
Yeah.
Art has been getting weirder.
That can only be a good thing.
Yeah. I think more risks being taken for sure.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear the family's good. Perchance, this wasn't a question I had recorded prior, but does any of your family like to make art too? Are they your biggest fans? Like, are they in that we love you, we're big fans, or do they also make some of their own art?
Yeah, so I would say both of my parents are pretty artistic. My dad more so on the fine art spectrum, and my mom, she does like interior, like home decor and like nails. Like she's really talented with that. But yeah, they're big supporters. Like I would not be here, you know, without them. But yeah, I would say my pops was the one who got us like drawing really young. So it was just buying us like how to draw books, taking us out on, you know, trips in nature and just very detailed. Like he would you know, he loves like botanical and like has a green thumb, is like knows his stuff when it comes to gardening. But like he would take us out and just be like, look at this, like micro scale, like look at it really close, or like, you know, he was always doing that. So I feel like from an early young age, I was always paying attention to like the most minuscule things, because that was kind of like in my raising. Yeah.
I got you. That's really amazing to hear. Perchance, has your pops ever been interested in, like, I don't know, tattoo? Like, it's such a niche medium of its own that you have to get training and licensed, and there's a lot of safety involved there. But I know a good botanical flower piece, people will get that tattooed anywhere on their whole face or body.
You know, now that he doesn't have one tattoo, he doesn't have. He got so mad when I got my first tattoo. I don't have many. I have two, and they're both hidden. But he got so pissed about it. But now he's like he's behind all my endeavors. Like, I'm sure if I got tattoos, he'd be fine now. But no, he's not tattooed. He's not tattoos.
I got you.
Yeah. However, one random, like, I've never seen pictures of my dad like young. They all got like burned.
Oh.
Yeah, like he left to the military, they all got burned. But he told me he used to be a punk rocker and had his hair down here. My same hair. He used to paint murals and do shit in his house, and I never saw those pictures. So it's always like a big question mark of like I know it's real, but I never got to see it. I've always wondered. I'm like, man, these genetics like was weird, you know?
Yeah, you're low key gonna just like pick up. Which actually, well, this is a question I have to ask you later in the interview portion, but like, I was gonna say you'll pick up an instrument like a guitar or an electric bass, and you'll just start shredding. You're like, whoa, I didn't know I had that in me. But it's like, oh, them punk rock genes kicking in.
Yeah, no, I never really picked up instruments, or at least like stuck with it. I would say this past year was the first year I got myself an instrument, which is a djembe drum.
Yeah.
I love the drums. And I've always had like most of my friends are in the music scene, just because I believe it feeds me as a visual artist to like get inspiration from somebody who's so gifted on that side. But yeah, like actual instrumentation, no. I do think I want to get one of those beat pads though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one?
I believe I do. Let me see.
Those
Like,
are so tight.
One of these bad boys, yeah.
Yes!
Boop boppy bop boop boppy bop boop boppy.
Yeah, like see, I see myself getting one of those. Look how much fun you're having. See, I want to be on the level you're at. I
Oh,
want to be at that level.
you know, it's kind of fun. In one of the previous episodes, maybe it was the one with Emiliano last week, or the one before that. Someone in the chat is a friend of mine, and we've been jamming a little bit recently. He'll come over, bring his keyboard, and then we'll sort of share the instruments. He might hop on guitar, I might hop on a drum. But we're hiring. You should join our musical traveling roadside show of musicians. The djembe drum will fit right in. It'd be really rad. And
I'll be in the back.
yeah. That's awesome. You're the next Skrillex. I don't know what to say. It's a coincidence that both of your names start with S. I don't know.
It's mad small. Look at that. It's mad small. You could like take it anywhere.
Yeah, seriously. You could just be like, just like your phone starts ringing in like class or work, and then you just pull this out like, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's exciting to hear. We got to hang out is what I'm getting from this, and I can show you how to use these bad boys. I have some like free software that goes with it. It's tight.
Heck yeah.
But hey, we got our first question from the chat for you, so I will make sure I ask you promptly. They want to know if you had to choose a favorite piece that you've ever made. And that's such a big question, but does anything come to mind? Maybe it was the experience that went into it, the process, or just the end result. You're like, oh, man, I did that. I killed this. Is there something that you could think of that's like one of your top favorite things you've ever arted?
I love that word.
Yeah.
I heard that one recently. Ooh, that's a good question. Besides what I'm working on now, because I'm really into what I'm into now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna reflect. I would say it was my last year of university, and I had been commissioned from someone in Chicago, and it was like the last 4 months of school, and it was like a 5-foot by 4-foot oil painting. Huge.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm 5'2", so I mean this thing is basically 5 foot by 4, and I had never done anything that big. I particularly, I didn't like paper size stuff. I always like got decent canvases, but that was a huge one. And yeah, I think when I got that, I just every day after school, I was inspired because I mean it was my first like real, I would say, solid commission. And I learned so much. Like, I think I took it to a level because of that. Like, I wanted to make it so good for somebody stepping into the professional world. So, like, I feel like I studied so much on that. And till this day, like, I have it pinned on my Instagram, my art page. You can look at it. It's a woman that's floating in the sky with her like dress just flowing like drapery, and there's a guy right behind her playing the drums. But it's the concept is about mixing like the heavens and the waters, and so that coming together, like it was harmonious, like conceptually. Like I really was happy that I had the liberty to do it, but it was huge, and I went through like 3 or 4 like shipping companies because I found out if you tell like a shipping like truck business that it's a one of one original artwork and like how much it's quoted or how much it's valued, they won't take it. So I had like companies that like turned me down. I'm like trying to get this to Chicago, so like I felt like I learned like, dang, like this actually expanded my knowledge into from start to finish delivering it, say internationally or wherever.
Yeah. On your laptop next to you, you don't have to unmute it for the sound, but you might be able to see the screen. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, she's beautiful. I love this piece.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how many? Let me see. At least 2021. Is that the year you made it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Selena. This is so cool. So someone commissioned this or this was for class?
Yeah, this was a commission. And I felt like it was a huge deal because, I was still in school, but to have that trust from somebody, and I was doing meetings for the first time, like showing them the process, sketches. I resketched so much. I feel like when you're in your own devices, you're just like, oh, the idea sparks and you just run with it. But when you get into the aspect of having somebody else's, their desires, you're the best writing is rewriting. So
That's
yeah,
true.
it was a good lesson. I look back at that, I'm still happy. It's one of my favorite pieces, and it's just, yeah, I documented the entire thing. If you want to go watch the process, it is on my YouTube channel.
Nice. Hey, I'll have to link your YouTube to my Instagram or something. I'm still learning a little bit about YouTube myself, which is funny because we have a live YouTube show we're doing right now. I wish there's a way that our YouTube channels could shake hand. It's like, you're watching this, but go here, check this out, I'll figure it out later. But
Soon. I feel like Instagram has like collaboration. YouTube might be on it really soon. Who knows?
yeah, they're on the heels. I love the cotton candy looking clouds. Maybe that's not even necessarily. It's very cosmic looking. And also the cool wave that's coming out of the person's foot with the cool flowy dress looks like a vinyl record, like at just a quick glance, which makes me think of music. And then I see the drum. It's all there. Everything I love in a painting, it's all there. I really appreciate this so much.
That's good. Not a lot of people think it's see it as a vinyl record, but that was the intention. So I like that. I like you got that eye.
Hey, I got you. See, we have to start a band. And we'll make a record someday, and this will all be some gnarly foreshadowing.
Cool.
But, well, thank you. It's funny, we put a lot of people on the spot in this show, and they don't always have an answer for, like, what's the favorite thing you've made? And they're like, rain check, let me get back to you on that. But you're like, actually, there's this big painting I did that I really dig, and we found it. So thank you for letting us know. That's really tight. I got to give you props. You are very good at documenting all of your amazing work online, which some other creative people kind of struggle with that aspect of being like a creator in the internet age of, I like doing it. I like focusing on the craft and the process and sort of making time for that. But I love a good behind the scenes too. And you said that for this painting, you actually sort of have a video on your YouTube that shows how you made it.
Yeah. So, 2021, I was recording my process. It was just off of my phone, nothing crazy. But at that time, like we had time lapse, and I would consume that type of content. I loved it. Just take, chunking those hours into a couple seconds. So a lot of my first videos are time lapse, and then I would probably just put like a couple seconds of like, this is what it is, or maybe like a little bit of a behind the scene, like me painting it. Nothing too fancy. So a lot of my earlier videos, you just get to see the process, from start to finish, time lapse style. But it wasn't until later that I started getting like more, interesting videography.
Nice. Did I hear you? Oh, did I hear you ping Siri back there? Is that what I heard?
No, I think probably my camera run out of data.
Oh no! Oh no!
Like I didn't clean my memory card at all, but it got some, so it's all good.
Do you have a backup SD card? Like, do you have a second one you could swap in?
I don't.
That's okay. That's okay. If you did, I was gonna say, at some point before we let you go, I have that 2-minute little movie video thing I made. With your permission, our first collab. I took your Instagram videos yesterday and I sort of jammed to it. I put a little track underneath it.
What I I know you told me, but I'm eager to hear it. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
I kind of let the words be the focus, and I was like, I'm gonna just sort of jam. I'm gonna put a little keyboard track, a little beat, some little bells. It's kind of a fun little thing, you know. But if you did have a backup SD card, I'm like, let's swap-a-roo. I'm gonna just play that video, and I'll let you swap that out. But if you don't, we'll stay the course. But my first question officially for you is all right. My first question for you. Paintings, drawings, illustrations, face paint, fashion, books, videos, magazines. With so many skills in your belt, right? A lot of this cool experience of just things you've already made. How do you decide what you will make next? With so many mediums to choose from.
I feel like, I don't know, like right now in my life, like titling myself as a set designer and director, and I feel like confident about that, is like a product of all of these other things that I've done, like all the things that you've mentioned: painting, illustration, logo design, publishing for books, writing. Like I got into a lot of things like early. I had a lot of, I don't know, I used to have a lot more anxiety about like not making this career happen for myself. Like, and I had a lot of drive. However, and I'll circle back, but my motivators have changed from like fear to now like just the experiences of the present and like getting to give something to others and produce for others. But yeah, just going back to what do I think about what I'm gonna do next? Like, I feel like I'm in a space in my life where a lot of those things you mentioned are kind of coming in glued together right now. So all of those compartments, making like a music video or a short film. I mean, everything from start to finish, with like shooting the video, acting in it, editing it, promoting pictures, publishing, like starting my own magazine this year, getting to write. Like, I feel like all of that is gluing together now. And right now it's super fresh, because I think the challenge of what I think I want to make next is like, how am I going to make this cleaner and weirder, you know? Those are, you know, when I said earlier, like, rewriting is the best writing. I think sometimes stubbornly, like, not all things that I think of are Picasso's. You know, there's a lot of trash footage. There's a lot of things that I'm like, eh. But now, like, I think I don't get discouraged. Like, if, again, I like retape it, I retape a shot, I redo a painting, I'll redo a sketch. And it's not that I don't trust like those first ideas. I just think like I've gotten to a place in my life where I nurture it. I'm not rushing it. You know, I get my content out, but it's not rushing like the final product. Like, I take more time with it now.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. Because again, sort of a perfect segue into my next question, which is related to that first one, which I understand a little bit more about your approach and how you sort of perceive your work and how you like to make your work, like how you pace yourself. But are, in your head, in your mind, in your heart, are there mediums that you still want to learn someday, in either like from a technical standpoint, you haven't gotten to take the time to learn them yet? Maybe it's like making rugs, you know, like I'd love to make a rug someday. I haven't done that. Or I think I saw on your social media that for the magazine that you mentioned, and we can talk about that more in a bit, you said there's a VR version. Does that mean like virtual reality? You're going to work in that medium? Is that correct?
Yeah, so I appreciate you deep diving on that. So I basically want to make physical, tangible products that have VR like technology embedded,
Wow.
and and kind of get play with that. Like that's super new. Like if you think about, like if you're asking me like kind of what I would like to get into, I do think like I have an interest of like some of this like AI situation. Because I saw this dude one time, and I hate that I can't reference him, but he just had a shirt with his artwork, and he's rocking it's a dope design. But when you pick something on the phone or like you scanned it, it started to turn into AI, and like his shirt was moving, and I was like, that's super fresh. Like to be honest, it had me jaw dropped at a video, but I think it's just another gimmick. Like I don't know, I have my sense of humor, it comes into my work. I'm not maybe like, hee hee ha ha like vocally, but like when it comes to like illusions and like optical illusions, that's my sense of humor, that's my gimmick. So I would like to be rocking something or have a magazine, somebody uses their phone and it starts to morph or something.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like we are kind of on the cutting edge of that. I feel like we're about to be in the place where you and anyone with an interest and the passion and the drive to learn these skills, most of us can probably make this stuff on a laptop, even an iPad or a phone, like I think the tools are going to be in our hands real soon. And I know a lot of people are critical toward NFTs and what that could do to art and how that could commodify art in a certain way. But as far as like digital media and making cool, dope stuff that's like really mind blowing, but not just a gimmick, like actually thought provoking, evocative, makes you feel something. I think that might be a really cool next wave to see what people can do with like, you like my t-shirt? Grab your
Yeah.
cell phone. You even seen the half of this t-shirt, and
Yeah.
then like a moving story is told. You scan the t-shirt and then like a short animated thing plays out on the shirt. Like that sounds dope. You're right. So the fact that you're actually looking to get into that or at least learn more about that's pretty exciting.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and I think like uh as I go through my process, like I'm linking those things. So it's like if I come out with a shirt that has that, like it could literally be a screenshot of a video that I have produced already. Like I don't know, just like link it back to other projects. I think like I'm learning to appreciate, like it's good to look back, and this is for like all artists. Like don't shit on your own stuff. Like look back at those times, reflect on it, and again, you gotta like, rewriting is the best writing. Like it's the same thing with art. Like go back to those old ideas and morph it into something else. Like don't copy and paste it. But again, like I think like my transition from painting to set design is it's linked, because I'm taking paintings that I've done and I'm throwing them into 3D. Like there's, and I think that's how I stay in tune again, like from the heart place. Like there's still so much a part of me in that way.
Yeah. Hey, I'll ask a very specific question that again wasn't in my notes, but you mentioned 3D, which that sounds cool. If someone, I know you are always very transparent about like, here's how I make what I make. Hopefully, I inspire you. What kind of software would you use for like 3D work? Like, is it Photoshop? Is it a different software that you've played with in that regard?
Yeah. So I've kind of like dibble dabbled with few, here and there. I'm no pro. So the industry level one is like Blender. That one like always like turned me on
It's
because
free too. Yeah.
yeah, it's free, and like I don't know, like the first YouTube tutorials you're gonna see is like somebody making some like mutant and like animal. I don't know, that got me. I was just like, oh, that's dope. But so I'll put you on game for anybody who's here and wants to like try some 3D modeling. It's called Vectory. So that's V as in Victor, ECTARY, vectory.com. I stumbled upon that like a year ago, and it's super easy to use, but you're just like, it's kind of like Minecraft. You're building your blocks, you're like rounding them off. You can kind of create. I actually created one of my first digital like 3D set designs on that.
Wow.
I had no idea like in regards to the standard of metrics like on to actually send it to a designer, but as far as for a visual, like you want to kind of like show somebody all of the the corners and edges, that's a dope software. It's super easy to use too. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the website it says something like you can start free. I don't know if there's a free version or you get a free trial.
No, it's free the entire time. Yeah.
Ooh.
If you inclined, visit my website. I'm gonna plug myself in. Visit my website. If you look at my set design tab, you'll see it. And I can. It's cool because that website lets you link it into your own web, and you can like the person can kind of like orbit it, so for free. So yeah, it's a little game.
Nice. Very cool. We're giving the people all the good stuff, all the tips for what to check out for new media, the new stuff of the future. That's really cool. I appreciate that. So we talked a little bit about stuff maybe recently, medium you've accomplished, medium you've dabbled in, stuff you might still want to try. Now I want to throw it back. In your words or in your mind, when did your art career start? And if you could sort of share the story about the day you decided, I'm going to try and do art full time. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do.
Oh gosh. I love that question. Like, who doesn't love that question? That's so I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And fresh out of high school. I was studying to be a physical therapist at the time. It didn't last long.
Oh.
It lasted about 4 months before I withdrew and I actually started to study art. But in that process, like I'm telling you, within that 4-month mark of like entering college for the first time, and not I had found a love for art in high school. Like I was naturally good at it and it was my favorite class. And it wasn't until I was just like, you know what, like I don't want to just do the projects in school. Let me get some paints for myself. I actually enjoy this. And let me try to make my own stuff. So I started like crafting at home. And really like it was back to back. Like I just really enjoyed it. So when I withdrew from PT, I had somebody actually tell me, why are you doing PT? Like I always thought you were gonna run away and be an artist. And I got upset because I was really at a crossroads. I thought I had my whole plan. I'm gonna be a physical therapist, because I loved fitness too. I was really big on that. I'm gonna be a PT. They make good salary. Yada yada yada, so on so on. And I was discouraged. And I told them, I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like frustrated, just projecting shit. But eventually, like that stuff. Some people will see you before you see yourself. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And I would say once I had about 5 paintings of my own, and I started to share them online. I had like a friend from the community was like, hey, we're gonna throw an art show. Would love if you can come out and do some live painting. Yeah. So I popped out, and I never forget this. I broke glass because piece was like a mixed media piece. And my concept was to like have this like person in the middle and have all these like shattered glasses like coming from them. And so I brought my hot glue gun to the show and I was like literally painting and like gluing these pieces of glass. I mean, I had a ball. Shortly after that, and I'll get back, like getting back to your question of like when my art career started, that night changed my life. Like 19 years old. It was in a 2-story house. They had asked somebody downtown. This is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. For all those who don't know, I was actually raised in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Downtown, and they asked some property owner, this brink-a-dink, like dusty, and they're like, yo, can we throw a show here? So it was like a 2-story house and like an art gallery at the bottom, performances were in the top level. And yeah, like I just felt so seen and I felt so at home because I needed that. Like I think like when you come to terms with feeling safe with something that is always either looked off or looked past, like, and you feel seen with people who can also express their differences. Like artists do that, you know. That's why our scene is so unique, because we share a lot of deep dark stuff with each other, you know, through different languages. And from there on, I started throwing shows. So I threw my first show like 5 months after, 19 years old, tickets and everything.
Oh, wow.
Did it with a good friend of mine, Taryn Robinson. If you see this, I love you. Her mom actually helped us out, and yeah, $5 a show, $5 a ticket, and yeah, 19 years old. We were having people come in. I started, you know, texting people online, come through, can I, you know, curating. And then I would also perform. So I did live paint. Like I've been like live painting since I was like 19. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so after that, you know, little by little, I you know, started selling work here and there. So I just didn't look back. Like I started out curating, I would say, as my first business venture, curating before even like selling artwork. Yeah.
Wow. I have to ask, that first time you ever did live painting, and I'm kind of curious what your answer will be since you had some experience with the art world because you curated before you really were performing and making and starting your art career and as you as a maker. But that first time you had a ticketed event or you did live performative painting, were you really nervous or unsure of how that would go if that was your first time doing that kind of thing?
No, I wasn't.
That's awesome.
I felt more. I mean, there's always excitement, you know. But no, I always felt so much more confident like doing art and performing than just like sometimes day to day like stuff. Like if I worked at a like I felt like I've been so much more awkward and nervous like working in the food restaurants that I worked in or like these whatever jobs like than going out on a stage and like winging it. felt like I felt like art. If this is, I think early on I was intuitive. Now that I think that if this is art, and this is not taking away, you know, the hard years that people put into the craft, but man, for being young, I felt like I was comfortable in just being like, all right, like I like this so much. Let me go through the moves a little bit, and you know what? I'm gonna just wing it. You feel me? Like I'm gonna wing it, and at the end of the day, if I'm having fun, if my energy is fun, my face is saying fun, like that's the spark. You know, it's not even. I think I knew early on, like it's not even the artwork. Like it's just the fact that I'm giving my energy and I'm having a good time is what it was always successful. I saw that early on.
Yeah. I know that you're persuaded me more than ever that you would be an amazing musical performer too, because what you just described sounds like the euphoria or the high energy of like performing on a stage with a band or your friends. It's like I just am bringing this positive energy because I want to be here and I want to do this and I want to entertain and make people happy. But that's really awesome to hear that even from an earlier age, when you started to do this as a career, it felt like a perfect fit. You're like, no, this is what I want to do, and that kind of drives you. I'm glad to hear that. With your years of experience from those wee early days, has all that you've done, does the world, the art world, the communities that you've lived in, does it all feel bigger than ever? Does it feel smaller and that you've gotten to meet so many people or something else? How has your world changed since becoming an artist and meeting people through your work?
Oh man, you know, I think it fluctuates.
Yeah.
It fluctuates on the day of, when my world feels really small or when it feels really big. Um, and I think it fluctuates on the presence. Um, and it's like, and that's what I want to circle back to what's changed in the motivators of like what motivated me, that was fear, to now what motivates me is that present moment. Like that can be a big factor of determining whether your world is big and you're meeting all these people and you feel like you're known and you're popular, or if you're just in a space and you're just like, man, I don't know if I'm in the right circles, because I ask myself those questions like daily. I'll never forget this artist locally. I won't put his name out, but he's actually like a renowned artist in Tampa. And, I came to him for advice when I was event curating because he had done it and he had a lot of reputation and all that. And I asked him for some help, and, he was more than happy to help me. But then I remember, we're coming up with all these strategies to market and how we're going to reach people and this and that. And he just was like flat out like, even though you may think you have like this reach, he's like, some people like may not even know this function's going on. Like, people don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like he didn't say it in a rude way, but he was just like, it put it into perspective. Like, like how much to grind to get your work across a platform, and two, like he was just super real. It's like, don't get consumed in like, oh, like people know me here in Tampa or I'm getting calls, this, that, because I think you should stay hungry. Like for me, like I think it's beautiful just now recently that I've been like, getting referred projects, or it's become more organic and smooth, like, buttery to work on projects. It doesn't take away the fact where I'm just like, man, I'd rather like, or I want to be in the UK, or like I would want to, travel somewhere else. And, nobody knows me across the globe over there. Internet is dope, but like, I'm always kind of like, my world, I think my world, I let it get big when I need to, and I control that, because if I overwhelm myself too much of like, I need to be known there, I want to be here, or like collaborate with like-minded people here, there, and that, I'm spread too thin. So that's why I'm always cooked up in this set, and this, if anything, this project of like set designing here at home, it has been a commitment of like, yo, put the blinders on. I would say 80% of the time, and then your 20% like share it, but like have fun in your little small world before it gets big, because that's how I think it organically disperses.
Yeah, and hey, I know, I will admit before I say this, I'm not really on this platform yet, but I know you're on TikTok, right?
Yo, like I've got like 5 videos.
Okay. Well, I have heard, for what it's worth, that really is a cool place to be for like creatives, artists, because it's not about who you already know. It's just kind of like the algorithm. It's like a quality or cool video. Like if you put your heart into something, it has a pretty decent chance of finding an audience and getting traction and multiplying your views and followers and supporters. Like, I've heard that as far as making new fans and followers and people who might really appreciate what you're doing, that can be a really cool place to do that. So I saw you post to your story recently that you clipped something and then you threw it on TikTok. I commend you. I commend you.
Thank you. And you brought that up because I've been so stubborn, and I've been like so consumed within like Instagram and YouTube that I'm just like, man, like I'm glad you pointed it out, because like I'm jumping on it. I recently started like uploading stuff like the last like couple days. But it is true. It is, and I dance. Like I feel like TikTok is the dance platform, and all of my friends are like, yo, you should put your dance videos. And I was just so consumed on like these other platforms. But you know what I'm also learning? There's like, which I'm about to get on, if y'all want to hear my next venture, is that there's AI platforms that can kind of help you like post all at once.
You
So
said Coast, what was it?
I don't know what it's called, but I saw a video. I was watching. This is the nerd in me. I was watching like AI, the newest AI generator like reviews, and
Yeah.
this woman who actually is in the business was talking about these different ones. And like, granted, some of these are not approved. Some of these are still asking.
Experimental.
Yeah, like they're very experimental at the stage right now. But I do remember her hearing like that there's one that like it can help you disperse like short form content on all at once, and I'm like, bro, wouldn't that be so much easier than like login, copy, write, paste, like doing the most. So I try to stay with the times, but yeah, I am TikTok, like you said, no excuses. It is one of those platforms where it can stream globally. Like it's just the way that it's built. It has transformed all of the other. I mean, think about it. Like I've even thought about, YouTube Shorts and all this crazy stuff, So
Yeah. I know YouTube, and this was like a year ago, so I don't know if it's still true, but in order to compete with TikTok, YouTube was going to really put a lot of money toward like creators who adapt the Shorts platform, like make content, put it on YouTube Shorts. We want it to grow, and if you get views, we'll give you money, probably more than TikTok would, but that's all cool. But you know what I think is the format of the future for getting the word out? You know what I think? Newspapers. No, I'm just kidding. That's a sad joke. I wish newspapers were still where it's at, like classifieds,
the fact that you just like turned on your like grandpappy voice, newspapers.
Exactly. Hold up.
Newspapers!
My grody, gnarly, deep voice loves newspapers. Yeah. But, well, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I got a few more for you. To the chat. What's up, y'all? We're still here. I see y'all. Let us know your favorite color, and we will rate your favorite colors. No, I'm just kidding. No judgment on your favorite colors. That's a subjective affair. But feel free to throw your questions to Selena if you have any more questions. We'll probably be chilling for another 20, 30 minutes. Not too late to ask this amazing creator some questions of your own. But in the meantime, let's see what more questions I got for you. A second ago, I asked you about the size of the world, right? Like your art career and how that can shrink or expand your world depending on how your career is going, all that. Speaking of the world, what are some of your favorite places in the world? If you've traveled, places you've lived, places maybe you know a lot about but would like to go. What are those places that really excite you or make you happy in the world?
I haven't been around a lot. I have been out of the country. The two places I've been overseas is Puerto Rico, which is my heritage and my roots, and then I went to Guatemala for a mission trip. So that was really dope. Those are my only two overseas. Everything has been the U.S.
Yeah.
I've made some travel. I think like I've had the privilege of seeing a lot of places. However, I have to say, I went recently to the Midwest, aka Arizona, Sedona, Grand Canyon for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yo! Like it was. I knew I always like wanted to see that. I mean, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. But it really rocked my world. Like, and it's crazy because like it was literally a few months ago in April. I went for my birthday, like a birthday trip, with a friend who also shares a birthday with me. So we've celebrated in the past. This is like my homie of life, like so dope. I love going on adventures with this person. But yo, like being in the desert scene. I mean, I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So granted, like I was like mountains and streams and rivers were normalized. Florida, oceans, all that. Like my preference is always mountains, though. Like I think it's because what I grew up on. Like I love I love elevation. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of adrenaline junkie, so I love like cliff jumping, jumping into the water, doing stuff like that, like real fun. But going to the desert and seeing the cactus, like I saw one, like some of them are literally like 25, 30 feet high. It's just insane. Yeah. And like the foliage and like just the plants over there. And I don't know if it's the background, you know, that it's against this beautiful like blood orange like desert, or like the cactus, how it has, you know, green, and it, as it's like, I guess, growing or ripening, it has like the flower, it turns into this like gray purple. Like everything was just so different and so absolutely beautiful. And when we went to Sedona, that is known as like the like capital vortex, like, you know, gemstones, all of that. That's where you find it. And yeah, like it was just incredible to see some of the formations geographically. We went to this place called the seven sacred pools, and it is literally like these like convex perfect like circle pools that just like are planted like down this mountain valley, and they're like in alignment, and it's like the wildest thing. It really looks like the creator himself. I mean, a lot of people go there for like UFO and like, you know, alien hunting. Like I don't blame them, because like the stuff that I saw was just like, you know, it makes you feel like a kid. You want to go through these tunnels and these portals. Like it's super fun, you know?
It is my stance, the older I get, that anything, place, person, whatever experience that can bring out the kid in you naturally, easily, that's magic. You know, because I feel like it's not every day that you get to feel that. Not me, at least, you know. So anything, that is really exciting to hear, that there's a part of the world that I can buy a plane ticket to or walk for a very long time to. No, I'm just kidding. In our own country, that evokes those emotions in you, like, oh my gosh, this is so different than Florida, which, born and raised, you know, been here for 27 years, so I've never known anything different. But that's so amazing to hear, because everyone I know who has been out there, even like Colorado, I've never been to Colorado, but I know that's not too far from parts of the Midwest, the western states. People love it, you know, the natural beauty, and again, the desert, the weirdness, Roswell, the aliens, all of that stuff. It's like within a 2 or 3 states, you just get so much different. It's a different color palette, it's different gradients, like just the color of that place is so different than where we live right now. So that's tight. That's tight. Actually, kind of a perfect segue to my next question. Talking about colors and feelings of places. Maybe it's not a perfect segue. It's an okay segue. Can you tell me about some movies, books, art, other art, or music that over the years has inspired you? Because when you were talking about that, I was thinking of movies like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and like all these movies that are like set in like the Western United States, and I was like, oh yeah, movies. Oh wait, my next question is about movies. Are there any movies, TV shows, music, anything like that has really moved or inspired you over the years?
Yeah, oh man, I like had a lot of them pop up. I'm like almost referencing one right here.
Are you throwing them in the chat?
I'm actually Googling it because I think it's on Netflix.
Nice.
It's it's like an indie film about this the underground Colombian Mexican like culture.
Yeah.
And it was crazy seeing this movie because it's real. It's real. Where it comes from, like this. I don't know, where is it? Colombian Mexican Netflix film indie. I'm really terrible with names.
That's okay. It sounds like you got all the right keywords in there.
Yeah, I got. Okay, so it's called "I'm No Longer Here."
Okay.
I'm really bad. this one I looked up because I think you guys should watch it. So it's basically focusing on the subgenre of Colombian people that adopted like Chicano and cumbia like music. And it's blended, but they kind of created their own dance. I mean, as most like subgenres do. But if you look it up, it's called "No, I'm No Longer Here." This is like real people. It's very underground, but their hairstyles are like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. Like they like gel like their sideburns. Like it's like borderline. Imagine like anime manga like Goku hairstyle, but they do that like in a really unique way. You guys should check it out. It's honestly like a really inspiring story too because it's about this kid that is like trying to move. It's like imagine like hip hop like before when hip hop in the 80s, like it's not like it became like popular, like everybody was loving it. Like a lot of people got arrested, a lot of people were beaten down for how controversial it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those stories, but it's within Latin America. So I felt like I really like loved it for that, and I think it's a big like it drew me because the music and then the fashion statements that kind of came with it. A lot of it was like identity. Um, and then I would say the second film that was really crazy. I believe it's called The Time Capsule. It's like an old um, or The Time Machine. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have. Also streaming?
No, this is like an older film. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like a
Oh,
90s,
wow.
2002. So yeah, it's a sci-fi film.
Looks
It's
like a
called
B movie. Yeah, sci-fi B movie or something.
Yeah. That film was really inspiring. There's some scenes in it of like these like kind of like huts, like huts that are like floating in the galaxy. So it has. I kind of think about before Avatar came out. Like this movie kind of had like those early roots. Let's put it that way. So if you want to go back in time and see something that came out before Avatar that kind of had like that like that jungle galaxy vortex situation, The Time Machine was an inspiring film.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm adding those to my to watch list. Any songs or albums in the past week, month, year that you really dug? Even just a local artist or a friend that you know that makes music who you want to shout out. Anything to that effect.
Yeah. So I have to shout out two of my friends that are incredible. I think people probably know I'm like super good friends with Natalie Depregola. She's a local drummer, composer, musician, and I've been in the ring with her doing so many creative stuff, and we're doing stuff right now as we speak. We're actually working on like a little short film together. But yeah, you should check them out. They go by the band name Katara. It's a lead harpist, musician. She's a drummer, and they put in a fusion of Afro Latin, conga bongo players to opera and cello. I mean, they like keep it. I love it because like they're always innovating and like recreating their sound. So yeah, and then the second name I would have to drop is Perception. If you're watching this, Perception is an incredible hip hop rapper locally here in Tampa. I just went to their album release party last month. Their album Better Luck Next Time. I definitely have that on my playlist. Streaming it, super dope. Like his flow is so crazy. He's kind of like he sticks a lot to those roots of hip hop, which I love. Like it's got that. It's new, but it's still got that honor of like kind of old school flow. Now my weird stuff like. love Tame Impala. Like I love
Heck yeah.
like synth and like pop. Like that's kind of usually what I have on in the studio if I'm getting into a really good groove. Or I would say I have on usually kind of like Afro Latin house. Yeah, it's either like Afro Latin house, like pop and like synth stuff, or really calm piano, Spanish like Spanish guitar, like serenade. You know, when I'm waking up in the morning. Like I'm not all here all the time, y'all. Like I do have I have my changes. So
Have you ever heard of Boiler Room on YouTube? It's a YouTube channel, Boiler Room.
no.
It is they do a lot of live streams all over the world, and it's a emphasis on like DJing, so house music, Afro Latin, a lot of diverse stuff all over the world. Depending, a lot of people in London, Central America, South America, North America, occasionally. But they throw these big parties. They set up a webcam and they feed the audio from the DJ into the web stream. So there's thousands of these videos on YouTube of DJs, really talented DJs all over the world, making mixes. A lot of the genres you mentioned are represented, and if you ever run out of music to listen to, you never will. But if you ever do, Boiler Room on YouTube is a cool way to sort of feel like you're at a party. Like you can put it on the background, but if you ever look at it, like, oh, there's people dancing, that's fun.
Nah, I have to check that. I'm gonna write that down. Boiler Room.
Yeah, Boiler Room. But that's
Also,
awesome.
if anybody's in the chat or want to make a comment, I have to run and get my charger. Sorry, y'all, but
Nah, do it. I will prepare the video to show you while you go to get that.
Awesome.
Let's see. But yes, to the folks at home, we love you. We appreciate y'all. We're in the home stretch of the show. Not too late to let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, get them questions answered. A lot of amazing insights tonight from one of my favorite artists locally. And so I totally encourage you to check them out. I'm going to throw the handle back on the screen again. Down there. Right down there. Selena Ferrer. They got it. They got the handle. Set designer, artist, video producer, magazine author. They really do it all. That's the sound of a charger entering the chat. Computer charger. Phone charger. One of those things.
Absolutely. My apologies.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting plugged in.
And so are you at home watching .com Doom. We're plugging you into the goods. Selena, I'll ask you where you're doing that. For the types of music you were mentioning, how do you like to listen? Is it Spotify? Is it YouTube? Is it some other source of music if you're listening to playlists? She may or may not have heard that. That's okay. How do you like to listen to music, friends at home? Let me know in the chat. Let's have a beef. Let's start a war. Team Spotify, Team Apple Music. We gotta know. If I could change the YouTube poll, I totally would. But also answer the YouTube poll. Looks like, speaking of that poll, let's see where the numbers are falling. A lot of paint fans in the crowd tonight, or sculpture and illustration. Second place, no faves. You love it all, or your favorite isn't represented. Tie for third place is recorded music, video, or writing. And then we have live dance and performing arts. Check your email. I'm checking my email. Let's see what we got. Okay, I'm gonna get some more pet pics.
Yo. Alright. We're in.
There it is. Woo!
Jeez Louise.
You know
Alright,
it.
we're back.
We back on the stream.
right now. Let me. There you are. Selena, you may or may not be able to see it, but right now we're looking at a picture of a cute dog on the stream.
Ew.
A derpy but cute dog named Dino. Oh.
That's my face of having all of my gear around me but a charger box.
When you thought you were prepared, except for the one thing you really need.
No, I appreciate you keeping the flow.
Of course. This could be a caption contest, y'all. Chat, caption this picture, and the winner will win something. A warm meal on me. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's the cute dog. I have to play the jingle. Selena, you won't hear this. If you ever rewatch this video, you'll hear it. But we have a little song I play every time we show a picture of a pet. So it's like 20 seconds long. I'm just going to play that real fast per tradition. Yep. Hey, Selena, well, the song is playing in the background. Check the chat.
Pet video of a week, don't you know it's the pet video of a week, don't you know it's the pet video.
All right, that's the pet song. We got JLR in the chat. Shout out to my mister from another mister, sister from another mister. That's amazing. Joelle, aka Paint Reality. All the talented folk in the house tonight.
Yeah, Joelle, I have to spread some light on Joelle. Joelle was one of the first people in art that I met. And it, sorry, I was like zooming out a call.
Oh, you're good.
But definitely one of the first people I met that does like surrealism. I was just like, yo, your artwork is so freaking sick. Like when I was actually like, it's not a lot of people that I relate to like in a painting spectrum, especially like surrealism is such a unique style. But I saw their artwork and I was like, we have to meet. And we ended up like messaging back and forth, and we actually like linked up for an art show, and they were so dope. Like, we had like instant like intellectual conversation, creative ideas, and we actually there's a YouTube video. We actually did a collaboration of doing like a live graffiti wall back when we were curating Heightened Senses. There's a video of me and Joelle collaborating, just going like crazy with markers. If you feel inspiration or feel like you want to do that with a friend, it's super fun. But yeah, shout out to Joelle. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother. We'll definitely link soon.
Also on your YouTube channel, perhaps, Selena?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Are you asking like
the video of that project that y'all collabed on? Yeah,
so that video is on the Heightened Senses TPA. I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat because although we're not running that live show, there's still a bunch of videos from all the performances that we did collaboratively. But if you look at one of my, I have a paint with me video. Joelle is featured in one of those. Like we were having like a paint session day, just like chopping it up and staying creative. So yeah.
Joelle, open invite. We might got to get you on the show next. It sounds like you're really doing awesome stuff. I'd love to get to know you. So
yeah.
I always do try to ask the artists that we get on .com Doom, like, okay, you went through this wacky, weird web show. Who should we subject to it next?
I saw Mia Makes It had a question. She said, what has been your biggest challenge this year?
Yeah.
My biggest challenge this year. My biggest challenge this year has been more on the fitness side. I like about 2 months ago, like have been committing to working out like 4 to 5 days a week and like not dropping it. And I'm like happy to say like I'm in a good routine of it. But it, you know, it doesn't take away the fact that, you know, sometimes you're like just not like, you know, you don't want to do it. But I feel like one of my bigger goals is to be stronger in dance. But one of the challenges is to be limber. Like you can bulk up all day, but like you'll still like sprain a muscle or all that if you're not like stretching and all that. So I feel like sometimes I'll do like all my art stuff or like this is like even physical work like hanging on that. Like the bigger challenge is like keeping up with my fitness. And if you want to go even deeper, like
As deep as you want to go.
yeah, like we're gonna go below the clouds. The bigger challenge is like listening to God when there's times to just like not react and to be patient. I think that's a big part of my process. I'm very like you know, committed to like my spirituality. And I do think it's a big muscle when it comes to the creative process on like where you need to let go, or how you need to drop like the art of putting something down. So I think like the biggest challenge for me, especially like not only spiritually, but like it happens too in my career of like if there's a job that I got excited for, or maybe somebody that gave me an impression like that this could be a beautiful relationship, or like this could be a good collab, and then it doesn't, you know, go to your like expectations, like to not react and be like discouraged. Like I feel like my challenge is to be more of like a rolling stone, like in a healthy way, you know, like nothing's gonna stick to me. And I'm just like kind of like learning to set those boundaries. That's a new challenge that I'm very like aware of, just because I think it's easy to, for me, like I guess a social bug to like want to create these ideas or like invite somebody to produce something, like either to collaborate with them or to you know, just do something with a team, but like not everybody's going to be on the same time frame. Some people like don't have the same vision as you do. And like when I mean vision is like sometimes it's just like, you know, we're here to like share it publicly. And like although we create and I can honor the sacred space, however, when we need to like build, like just know that there's always going to be exchange of like what I can get from this process as well as what you can get from this process. And yeah, like some people will kind of be in that good realm of like, you know, maybe creating together but not like deliver where it needs to be, where it can like help us in the professional world. So I might be going like in a few different ways, but like these are just like a little bit examples of like what it is to just like feel things and to not rush, like have a coffee date before we jump into like an idea. Like let's just talk, let's get to know each other, see what our intentions are. You know, if there's certain things that don't flow, to not like push it, to not keep on twisting that doorknob, jiggling that doorknob if that door is not opening, you know? So that would be my bigger challenge.
Nice. I appreciate you sharing that because despite all the amazing successes that I like to speak about tonight in your portfolio and over your years of careers, it's a reminder that it's work. And sometimes it's struggle and challenges. And if your work is collaborative and involves working with other creatives and artists, your vision might not always align. And that's a good tip to try and realize that at the beginning. Try to have those discussions in a fun, safe space first. Like, let's grab a coffee. What do you want to get from this? I'll share what I want to get from this. Because I imagine that if you go all in on a big project with somebody and halfway through you realize that maybe there was a dissonance or a misalignment of what you both needed or wanted from a project, be harder to get out of or dig out of that the work, time, and money that would need to go into a project then, as opposed to trying to discuss a lot of those details up front. I think that's a really good tip, actually. But,
Yeah, I feel like that's a part of Like that's sometimes the energy that people don't understand, like that comes into being an artist, is like a lot of before you even get to the money is like a phone call, it's coffee dates, you know what I'm saying, it's showing up to that person's event. Like you can strategize who it is you want to meet, but like sometimes you have to put the hours and the gas and the support, and like even if it's not the event, like if you have interest, you know, like sometimes people won't get out of their house or their shell, or like they get in moods where I'm just like I've never struggled with that. If anything, like I've had to learn like to reserve and to like stay at home and make sure I'm spending the extra time in the things that are for me. Because I mean, like I always knew like getting a lot of the work that I do has been through just like relationship building, and that's an energy in itself. It's not even, we're not producing the artwork. Oh, how are you getting commissions? Like because I share who I am. Nobody, people forget that they're not buying like the artwork, they're buying it because they like you. Like I could have a red dot behind my, you know, behind my screen right now. This is my artwork, this red dot. If somebody's seeing that without me there, that's just a red dot, like whatever. However, if they have a conversation with me and they see that this red dot goes back into my lineage of like, you know, the native tribe and how red was like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is just an example. They're gonna be like, wow, they've seen a whole perspective. Like people get so caught up in that paralysis of like, I need to have the work present. And even in my own experience, like my work needs to be good, or I need to like make sure it's like, you know, again, that perfectionist paralysis, like don't let that interfere with your opportunity to have a conversation first. That's where your energy needs to be spent, you know, before anything. So
Thank you so much. A lot of what you said really is going to help me out, I think, in the long term. That last part, and also the part before about you willing to share that, to be honest, this year, like finding the time for that physical wellness and working out regularly has been a struggle. That's also something I'm really struggling with right now. Like, it's probably been months or years since I've had like a regular exercise routine. You know, sometimes, some days, like you said, I stay in my shell. Like I might only leave my house once, take a small walk around the block, and every little bit matters and helps. But that's definitely something I'm trying to work on. Of something that's fun that I can do to sort of stay well, stay connected, get outside, all that. And it looks like we've disconnected from Selena, and I will try to work on that real fast because I want to make sure she can see the little video that I prepared for her before we sign off for the evening. So, folks, if you have any final questions for our amazing guest tonight, throw them in the chat. We'll get you your answers. But I'm going to actually try to call Selena back real fast. Skateboarding, yes. To be honest, I used to love skateboarding. I had many a fall and hurt my back. And I'm just not. I used to be on campus a lot at USF when I was a student there, and there's so many great sidewalks for skateboarding and ripping and going fast. But other parts around town or around Tampa, I haven't found those cool spots yet to skateboard. But if you got those cool spots, let me know. I haven't been to Skate Park Tampa. Maybe I should just check that out, to be honest. But let me see if I can reconnect with Selena real fast. Yeah, JLR. Are there any spots that you like to skate around town? Are you like into street skating? Do you like to go to parks, other places? I know people love the bomb parking garages. I did that once or twice. It's kind of really fast and furious and dangerous to do so, but like, YOLO! The sense of speed was kind of unparalleled the time or two. I did do a garage, but from a legal standpoint, if you've never skateboarded before, definitely don't do that first. Learn your basics before going anywhere near where the cars are or anywhere that goes super fast. I'm trying to call Selena in the background now, but I don't know if I can connect. Either way, for those who are still watching, I'm going to show you the video that I had. Street skating. Carrollwood is where it's at. Nice. Humongous. Skaters unite!
Skateboard! Skateboarding! Gotta love a skateboard.
Gotta love skateboarding, yeah! Trapedoor, suck!
I'm calling Selena. Let's go, Selena. Selena, are you in the house?
Selena, are you in the house? I don't think you're in the house. I don't see you.
Is Selena in the house? Selena!
If we can get Selena back on the line, which it's not looking good, folks. But if we can, I will ask if Selena skates. That's a dope question, actually. I should have just had that in my notes. But you can learn a lot about a person if they push Mongo. I'm just kidding. A family member of mine pushes Mongo. We love him to death. But for now, it's possible, actually. Good call, chat. Selena was saying she had to plug in some tech. I think we done did juiced all of the batteries, because that's what we do on .com do. It's in the title. But since you're still here, folks, we'll end it on a good note. Here is my ode to Selena in D minor. That's not the key it's in. Don't know music theory, please, because that's definitely not the key this is in. But what I'm about to show you is an Instagram sort of inspirational talk that Selena posted yesterday in anticipation of our call tonight. I recorded that conversation, or that talk that she did on her stories, and I jammed to it. Put a little beat, put a little keys, some little bells. So if you want to be inspired, hear this. Listen to the words. Fortunately, Selena was using that filter on Instagram that like transcribes all of your words and spits out subtitles. So you can also read them that way. But it's a jammin', goofy, good time. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to watch that. And then I'll say a couple of last words to sign off. But I love you guys. Give yourself a round of applause. All the pets in the house tonight. Yep, we even got lightning and thunder. All of it. It's all there. Thanks for staying tuned to the Doom. Happy Still Show on the net. Check this out! From the top.
You know what it is? Just like you, I am confronted with all of the voices that tell me to do the most conventional thing. Constantly tempted by the pragmatic, practical, conventional path that people feed you, that society feeds you. This ideal of success or whatever. I am surrounded by other opinions. It doesn't mean that I take bits and pieces from different avenues that have led me to want to be a set designer, something that encapsulates so many fields like video, acting, lighting, production, scale modeling, architecture. I mean, there's so much. And you don't think that I've been tempted to just take one and just run with that conventional path? And although I want this message to be of service to all, I am speaking as an artist, you know? These worlds did not come from a conventional desire. There wasn't a reference point of holding on to the past nor holding on to the pressure of the future. You know, people ask me sometimes, how long did that painting take? I tell them, I paint to forget time. So when I remind myself to step back into what it is I cherish, and is creating those worlds that I can envision better what we live in right now, or could spark a response or a thought of meditating on something that's deeper and that's more vulnerable and that's more raw, that is what makes me happy. So go ahead and tune in tomorrow to .com Dunes podcast. It'll be streaming live on YouTube. We're gonna go ahead and chop it up, and yeah, I would love to share my journey of being a 2D painter transitioning into the 3D world and all the challenges that have presented themselves in the world of not only making it look good, but does it function? So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and much love. Keep dreaming, keep creating, and don't pick the conventional route. Go above and beyond.
Making art with art, y'all. When your favorite visual artist shares wisdom and advice and words from the heart like that, you don't just let that disappear after 24 hours on Instagram.com. No. You gotta sample it. You gotta put a beat on it. You gotta sing to it. You gotta share that on your web show. So we attempted that for the first time. Oh yeah. Woo! New media. Me and you media. Me and you and Selena longboarding. You're welcome for having you.com, dude. It was a hoot. I love doing this. I love chilling with y'all. Joelle, check your inbox. I'm going to be reaching out to you soon because you seem awesome. And those are the kind of folks that we love to have on the show to talk about art, the creative process, and the things that make us and human and fallible and other words. Other words, y'all. Other words!
Other words!
Other
Other words. In other words, thank you guys for staying tuned to the Doom. As always, last couple things before we hit that big old red button to end this thing. Special shout out, Selena Ferrer. Whoa! Very good friend of the show now. Now we know. Very talented artist. What can she do? She can longboard. We got to the bottom of that mystery tonight. Oh, man. But for real. Love what you're doing. Check out Selena Ferrer. Check out Divine Duality Magazine on Instagram. Another really cool thing she's cooking up soon. That we'll have to have her on again for another show so I can ask her about that. Because this was awesome. But please like and subscribe and all that noise if you have not already. We're building a happy little community over here. Bring your friends. Share this crap with your amigos. Send it to your compatriots, colleagues, grandmas, grandfathers, the cool ones. Bring them. Come through. We'll have a little skating party. And we'll get grandma her knee pads. It'll be chill. But love you guys so much. Thanks for the support. See you next week. Stay safe out there. I mean it. Wear your knee pads. Wear your helmets, alright?
I love you, yes I do, yo. freaking love you. Bye.
Very cool, international business. Okay, so I'm truly winging this, making up questions off the top of my head. But I attended the event. It was a great success. Take it. You sure?